Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I am Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. I, right now, am in beautiful North Idaho. Can you smell that? Oh, that's the smell of freedom. Why am I here? Well, I'm here at North Idaho Arms because one of your good friends, one of my good friends, BZ, formerly of Wade's Bellevue Indoor Range, well, he finally decided to make the great escape from the People's Republic of Washington and move back here to the state of Idaho. I came out here to geek out on several things related to the FFL industry, things that are very, very important to you, including a potential magazine ban injunction that may be coming up next month. Sounds pretty interesting. So today, from North Idaho, aka the United States of America, let's talk about a perspective on Washington State from an Idaho FFL. Hey, I'm here with BZ. Now, you guys remember BZ. He's an old friend of ours back from Bellevue Indoor Range and Wade's Gun Store over in Bellevue. He has made the escape here to Idaho. First of all, BZ, thanks for being on. Thanks for having me to your wonderful store. North Idaho Arms. Tell everybody about North Idaho Arms.
Well, North Idaho Arms here in beautiful Post Falls, Idaho. And first thing, welcome to America.
Thank you. Yes,
welcome back to America.
It is freer over here. It is for sure.
The air is a little freer.
Yeah.
The people are a little nicer, and it's wonderful. Why North Idaho Arms? America. You know, I had the opportunity to be in the gun business for years over in Western Washington and work with some really, really great people and spent an amazing amount of time with some really awesome owners and employees, and it was awesome.
You had a great run over there too.
It was awesome. It was great. But what I saw was we saw the handwriting on the wall, and we saw that not just for guns, but for everything in kind of our little bit more conservative lifestyle, that we weren't wanted anymore.
No, we're not.
Right? And so, you know, I had the conversation with my wife and my family about coming this way. And I'm blessed that my family, the Zielinski family, there's a bunch of us that have lived over here their entire lives, and so it was a homecoming for us.
Okay, it was kind of coming home for you.
So I get to hang out with my cousins and aunts and uncles and my family, and it's awesome, right? But on a business sense, when I got over here, it was, you know, what are we going to do? And, you know, I'm blessed that my wife has a great job and she works out of the Spokane Valley, but what are we going to do? And so had some conversations with some good friends and said, let's open a gun shop.
Novel idea of yours.
Let's build the Alamo.
Yeah. Well, you got a nice store here. So, you know, listen, and for those of you who don't know, BZ has been incredibly active in the 2A community, and he is a wealth of knowledge. And candidly, sometimes when I don't know the answers to things, I call this guy because he seems to know the answers to everything. But I want to talk about two very unique situations that we've had an opportunity to talk about. One is Washington. We can almost see it from here. You can certainly smell it from here.
Yeah, mile and a half. Exit 2 off I-90.
So you get a lot of people who come in here and they want to buy firearms. Sometimes they want to buy firearms that perhaps they can't buy in Washington State for various reasons. Other times they want to buy firearms that could be purchased in Washington State. You got better prices, lower taxes here in Idaho. You got a really nice gun store here. But there's a problem now with you selling any firearm to a Washington State resident. Why don't you explain that? Because I know you got people coming in here, they're getting a little ticked off that you can't do it, and what they need to realize is your hands are tied on this thing. So why don't you explain that to my viewers?
So remember when 1639 passed, and there was you had to do a 10-day wait on assault weapons, and there was the registration that's not a registration, but there is a registration through the Department of Licensing in Washington. That's a real thing. Look it up. You could always go out of state and buy a shotgun, lever gun, bolt gun, a strip receiver, and do a NICS instant background check.
And federal law still permits that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, as of now, January 1st, in the state of Washington, they no longer use the NICS instant background check. They use a Washington State Patrol check. And I'm sure they're still using...
They're using NICS.
They're using NICS.
As a component of it, yes.
But they're having the Washington State Patrol do it. And so, as an Idaho FFL, I don't have the ability to log into the Washington State Patrol. I don't have the ability to assess that mandatory $18 tax that they charge to you as a Washington resident as well. You also have to show proof of training. Again, Dan Mitchell at Sporting Systems is like the #1 guy.
We'll link that up in the
best guy in the world for that training. It's 100% free. Please do it.
Yes.
So mandatory 10-day wait on everything: bolt gun, shotgun, lever gun, $18 serial number background check fee, Washington State Patrol, and proof of training. I don't have the ability to do that here. We don't have the ability as an Idaho FFL to do that.
And the truth of the matter is even if someone came in here and they had their 1143 safety certificate and they live in Spokane Valley and they'll be like, well, that's fine, I'll come back in 10 days and pick it up. The bottom line is you can't conduct the necessary background check to make the transfer.
Yeah, I don't have credentials to log into Washington State Patrol.
Okay.
So, but if there's something and it makes sense, and again, that's part of the thing, right? It has to make sense for everybody, right? It has to make sense for the consumer. If you see something here that you legally can own in Washington and buy, and financially it makes sense, I'll drive it over and drop it off to one of the many great FFLs over there, and then you pay your transfer fee over there and pick it up.
Right. So for those of you who are interested in coming over here to North Idaho Arms, if there is something that's purchased, I know there's a couple of really reputable FFLs. BZ knows them real well. He can actually transport them into the state of Washington. It's legal for him to do so, and then you'll do the transfer paperwork in Washington. I have to ask you another question. You and I have been geeking out on this. There's this rumor rolling around on March 11th. There's going to be a big hearing down in Cowlitz County as it deals with Washington State's magazine ban. Case is called Gator Guns versus state of Washington. You and I were talking about that, and I think a lot of people are getting really, really excited that there's going to be suddenly the sun rises again effective March 11th, and they can just buy as many magazines as they want for the rest of their lives. That's probably not the way it's going to go down. So in your experience, why don't you tell everyone what is really likely to happen and what that window of time could possibly look like?
So I always preface all of this with always shop local. Always shop with your local FFL, buy small, spend your money with people who actually like you, right? Number 2, if there is an injunction, we're probably looking at something like the Freedom Week that happened in California.
Yep.
March 11th is a Monday.
Right.
I'm willing to bet that the state of Washington will see a magazine injunction on the 11th, and probably 13th, 14th, the Washington State Supreme Court will annul or stay that injunction. Right?
Yeah.
So you're going to have a very, very small window. So if you're in Western Washington, Eastern Washington, wherever, the Rev Arms family, the Wade's Eastside Guns, the Sporting Systems, your local gun shop, the people that you have always gone to work with, that you've always trusted, get there 10 minutes before the doors open and see what's available, right?
And clean them out.
And clean them out. And buy everything, right?
And this is the thing. This is one of the things that BZ and I were talking about. Some of you may be like, oh man, I've always wanted to get that particular firearm, but if I buy it in Washington State now, I won't be able to get the magazines with it. This might be the opportunity to either purchase that firearm with the magazines, or if you don't have the budget to purchase the firearm, purchase the magazines now. You can always purchase the firearm later.
Yeah, and then for us here in North Idaho, we're an Idaho business. We do business in Idaho. We sell magazines, parts, pieces, accessories to people in the state of Idaho, and where those magazines, parts, pieces go afterwards, that's at discretion of the consumer. If there is an injunction, if there is a Freedom Week or whatever it is, I can promise you that I will be loading up boxes and hitting UPS and drop shipping as much as I can to help you guys out.
Because one of the things you guys need to understand is under 941-370, the importation of high-capacity magazines is also unlawful. However, if that law is enjoined, then guys like BZ or any other North Idaho FFL who wanted to ship into the state of Washington would be lawfully allowed to do so as long as that injunction is in place. Keep your fingers crossed, right?
Hey guys, get your checkbooks ready. And unfortunately, over the last couple years with COVID and the mag ban and assault weapons ban, I know that you guys have spent a lot of money and probably spent more money than you wanted to at times that you didn't want to. But understand, this is the plan. This is the plan on the left, is they want to be able to look at you and say, we didn't ban anything from you. We didn't take a single thing from you. We've just made the commerce illegal.
Yeah, who told you that, by the way?
You know, that's when we testified down in Olympia a couple years back. Senator Dinger, I believe that was.
The one that's running for Attorney General now?
Yeah. So, you know, hey, it's just that thing of where a politician can say one thing and absolutely do something else, where we're not banning anything from anybody. We're not taking anything from you. We're protecting you from those evil gun dealers.
Right.
Well, I can tell you from personal experience, working in Western Washington for so many years, that the mindset and the customer base has changed.
Yes, it has.
You know,
it has significant. I've even noticed that in the few years, just as a casual observer of the 2A industry, that you are seeing an entirely different type of crowd in the gun stores, buying guns, doing training. All of that has significantly changed.
Prior to COVID, you'd walk into a gun store and you'd see guys that look like me, guys that look like us, right? And that's who was buying guns and that's who was selling you the guns, right? And now you walk in and it is literally a rainbow. It's a kaleidoscope of people, because everybody in Washington is realizing that the system doesn't work. If you call the police, they're not showing up. If you call the police and they do show up, you're probably not going to get the answer or the result that you hoped for. And so your personal protection is personal. And so...
Yeah, well, you know, the Second Amendment, like every other aspect of our Constitution, is for everybody. It's for everybody. So whether you look like me and BZ, or you're completely on the other end of the political spectrum, the Second Amendment is there and designed so that you could preserve the lifestyle that you've chosen for you and your family. Whether BZ and I agree with that lifestyle is absolutely irrelevant to the equation. You have the right as an American to protect that. So with that in mind, why don't you tell my viewers one more time about North Idaho Arms? How can they come see BZ? Because they miss you. You know, you were a big celebrity over there in Bellevue. I don't know about that. So how can they come over and check this really awesome store out?
North Idaho Arms here in beautiful Post Falls, Idaho. America. We're exit 2 off of I-90, a short 4.5 to 5 hour drive from King County. So every weekend, my friends are coming over to see me. So come over and see me. North Idaho Arms on Facebook, North Idaho Arms on Instagram, NIA Gun Shop on X, formerly Twitter. Send me a smoke signal, send me a phone call, whatever. We will take care of you. And more than anything is we just want to make sure that every single Washington resident, Idaho resident, American, any person that wants to protect themselves and take care of themselves, that we give them that opportunity to do that. So God bless you. Welcome to America.
And he is BZ. He is literally one of the foremost experts. I'm telling you, I've learned more from this guy than just about anybody. So I thank him for being on the channel. Listen, we're going to go ahead and link up everything you need to know about North Idaho Arms down there in the description box. If you guys got any other questions about this or anything else left of what's remaining of our Second Amendment rights in Washington State, which is about that much, you should know how to get a hold of Washington gun law by now. If you don't, that's okay. That information is down there in the description box as well. And then finally, let's everyone remember that part of being the lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here, is to know what the law is in every situation, how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. From beautiful North Idaho and America, thanks for watching. Stay safe.
Defend Idaho.